Hello and welcome back to Classic MGB. Now today we're at the biggest classic car show in the UK. It's the Classic Car Show at the NEC. Now I thought as it's going to be a long day I'd have a bit of breakfast first. So breakfast done, let's go and see what's about. Well, I found this lovely MGC. It's Neil Hanson's. Neil, tell me about the car.
Well, I've owned it for only a year. Bought it actually at the show here last year. I'm 70 years old and this is my very first ever MG and I have already fallen in love with it. It's a North American car in 1969. It didn't come back to the UK until 2019 where, as you can see, it was extensively restored, and it's also had a fast road MG Motorsport engine fitted in it, which is why I now enjoy doing track days and want to enjoy the car. Due to family commitments this year, I haven't had to do as many as I wanted to do, but next year I've already spoke to the MGs on the track and we'll definitely do many, many more. I love it. I'm having fantastic fun with it.
Now, until you actually come to the NEC and to one of these shows, you just don't realise how big they are. 6 halls, it could be tiny halls, but actually each one of these halls is probably twice the size of a football pitch. So there's lots of walking. Now, I know this isn't an MGB, but I know a lot of our audience will remember it with a lot of affection. It is, of course, Jack Jones' van from the old Dad's Army series. The van has been completely restored by the Dad's Army Museum, and in fact, you can see the van there. It's in Thetford in Norfolk, and you can even go to their website. It's www.dadsarmythetford.org.uk. Now, we're filming this on Remembrance Sunday, and one of the things I found difficult this year was to find somewhere to buy a poppy, so I was really pleased to be able to buy one at the NEC this year, and it was really quite moving at 11 o'clock this morning when everything went silent and people remembered. So here we have another MGB-GT, and it's a chrome bumper, or is it? In the UK, the number plates denoted how old they are, and you can see this is a T registration, so that would be the late 70s. So that marks this car as a rubber bumper conversion. How can I tell? Apart from the number plate, have a look at the interior. The interior was markedly different for the later plastic or black rubber bumper models. How's this for a treat? I've managed to catch up with David Eales. Now, he is the owner of probably the best known engine builder and tuning house, Oselli. And they do a lot of MGB conversions, but I'll ask him to tell me a bit more about it. David, tell me about Oselli.
Wow, where to begin? Oselli started over 60 years ago. It started in Oxfordshire and it was known as Oxford Engine Services. It then, during the 60s, it was preparing, and it was started by 2 BMC engineers. It was preparing and tuning minis for the Monte Carlo Rally, and that's where it started its A-series engine tuning. And from there, in the 70s, it developed into building MGB engines, tuning MGBs, Fords, and racing, of course. And in the early mid-70s, it changed its name from Oxford Engine Services to
Oselli.
Oselli.
Okay.
And that's where the people at the time who owned the company wanted to give it an Italian ring, so the name Oselli was dreamt up.
But it's British through and through.
We've always specialised in British sports cars, everything from, as I say, Fords, Minis, famous for our Minis even now, MGBs, MG midgets, A series, B series, and so on.
So if I had a standard MGB, a lot of our viewers have them, and I wanted to get a little bit more performance, what would you suggest?
The easiest way to get more performance is to change the engine to one of our 1950 Stage 2s. It's the most popular engine we do by far. We send MGB engines all over the world these days. We sent them to Japan, Australia, New Zealand, America. And I would say 95 to 98% of all our MGB engines are 1950 Stage 2s. We have a special and unique way of building them so the engine maintains its strength and its rigidity in the engine block. And so, yeah, we sell no end. If you see, we're very fortunate because if you see cars advertised in the magazines, you'll see or we like to think, added value when you see it with an Oselli engine or Oselli history and so on. For example, we've come to develop this car, which is a 2.2 litre MGB engine, which we've developed as an anniversary edition. We're offering to build 10 of these unique cars for 10 customers. We're on our third now, and we use a heritage body shell. We rebuild it with disc brakes front and rear, the Oselli 2.2 engine, a 5-speed gearbox, and lots of other tweaks. Makes it a fabulous car to drive. You should come and have a drive.
That would be lovely. I'll take that invitation and we'll come and do a video about you.
Fabulous car, fabulous engine.
Dare I ask how much?
Depends what you have. You could come along with your car and you could have all these extras put onto your car if you're happy with it. If you wanted us to rebuild a brand new MGB heritage shell car for you, you would spend £75,000. Okay. So unfortunately, heritage shells are that much money, and of course all the other bits and pieces involved. But yeah, 75 will put you on the list.
David, thank you very much, and hope you carry on. Well, it was fascinating catching up with David, but you don't have to spend £75,000 on the full MGB-GT 60th anniversary. It's got that popular 1950 engine, and you know, you can tell it's had an Oselli engine in it because of the Oselli rocker cover. Very distinctive red rocker covers. Can be yours for just £13,500. So how about this one? 1964 MGB FIA race car. It's British racing green, as you can see, with old English white accents. For the technically minded, it's got an Oselli 1850 FIA spec engine with an Arrow crankshaft, H-section rods, Amiga forged pistons, a Piper camshaft, and a rebuilt 3-synchro close ratio straight cut gearbox. Again, a lovely car. It's for sale as well. Price £39,500. Now, whilst my preference is for the GT, I do love a Roadster, and don't get much better than this one. It's baby blue, as you can see. It's 1964, pretty much standard except for that. Yours for just £34,000. Now, I found two people that actually met through their love of MGs. It's Keiran and Emma. So tell us the story, Emma.
So I bought my MG in June 2022, and I joined the young members when I bought the car. And Keiran actually messaged me on Facebook and said, you know, join the club. So I did, and I started coming to a lot of the shows down in Birmingham, and that's how we sort of met, and it sort of just blossomed from there.
That is fantastic. And you've both got MGs, Keiran.
We have, yeah. So we're a part of the MG Car Club Young Members as well. So we're trying to encourage the next generation of MGs, of owners into MGs, whether it be classic or modern. But yeah, we've both got MGBs. I've got a 1971 MGB-GT, and Emma's got a 1973.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So do you argue about which car to take, or would you just take both?
We take it in turns, really,
Yeah,
don't
we
we?
do, yeah.
Because they're both unique in their own way. So we kind of depend on where we take them, you know. So if she's down here, we'd go in mine.
Yeah.
If we're up in Scotland, we take Emma. So it's a bit of both, really.
So there's quite a distance between the two of you.
Yeah, we do travel down sort of most weekends to each other and see each other. The cars have only been together twice.
Twice in their life, yeah.
Twice in their life, yeah. So, but we do try as much as we can.
What makes the MGB special to you, Emma?
I think it's just sort of the classic that everybody loves. You know, you see so many of them, and I think a lot of people sort of overlook them, but I think they're very special in their own way. They're loved for a reason, and the parts availability, obviously, you see the amount of clubs is amazing. So it's a good community to join, and that's why I think I went for one. Yeah.
What about you, Keiran? What's special about the MGB?
I think it's the classic British sports car for me. When you think of a British sports car, especially classic, I've looked at the MGB. I mean, the way I got into them was my dad obviously works for classic cars, and we used to go to all like the Autojumbles, like Bewley and the Stoney Spares days. And the MGB was always that one car that was quite common at the shows, and it stood out to me. And I thought to myself, I could see myself owning one of those one day, and then here I am 8 years later, you know, not only met someone, but, you know, here I am with a car, and yeah, I think it kind of blossomed from there, really, and a few people like my dad and some like fellow YouTubers like yourself have inspired me to go out there and find one, and so yeah, I think that's how it blossomed, really.
I think it's absolutely brilliant that, I mean, the demographic for our channel is quite old, so it's really good you guys are keeping it to lower. Guys, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, we found this lovely MGB. It's at Hurst Park Classic Cars, and they tell me it's a GT. Well, I can see it's clearly not a GT, but it has apparently been converted. It was a GT, needed restoration, so it's been restored into a heritage V8 shell, and of course it's a Roadster. Apparently this car was purchased from an owner who moved down from Scotland and had this and an RV8, but didn't have anywhere to store it, so it's for sale, just £29,995. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I love a book about MGBs, so whenever I come to a show, I always try and hunt round for books that I haven't got. Sadly, I've not found one. Now, I know the channel's called Classic MGB, but when you see something as beautiful as this chopper, I just had to have a shot of it. The only problem, it's 15 grand. Sadly, this chopper's more my price range. Well, another popular thing at these shows is, of course, the clubs, and I've caught up with Richard Monk again from the MG Owners Club. Richard, how's the show going?
Very well, very well. Certainly, Friday and Saturday were busy, and yeah, people are out. That's good to see, because in this climate, you don't know, well, weather as well, wet weather, but no, it's been very good. Been very good.
Yeah, I noticed you've got plenty of merchandise here.
Well, yes, we always do, and it's leading up to Christmas, of course. So we've had a few people looking for stuff for their dads, you know, or their granddad even, who owns an MG, you know.
Yeah, I've actually been told by my daughter, who's helping filming us today, that I'm not allowed to buy anything because Christmas is coming.
So she's looking for presents for Christmas, yeah.
Richard, have a good show.
Yeah, okay, nice to see you.
Take care.
Yes.
We've caught up with the MG Car Club. They've got a great stand here at the NEC, and I've managed to catch Lorraine Noble-Thompson, who is the vice chair. So, Lorraine, how's the show going?
Well, absolutely fantastic. We love these shows because it's where we can interact with our members, create new members, and we've over 40 already signed up this weekend. A lot of hard work goes into it, but we've virtually got nearly half the hall, or a third of the hall, with all MG Car Club registers and our own stand. So it's been a very huge success, and the team work their socks off, really.
Yeah.
They really put a lot of work into this, because it's not just the weekend, it's the preparation. Thursday they're here setting up. Tonight they'll be here till, you know, sort of the cows go home, let's say, before everybody's gone, and they're packing away.
Absolutely. And I have to ask, safety fast, a few changes this time. The paper, what's the reason for that?
Well, the reason is we always look to try and give the benefit to the members. We've supplied this time a 60 gram bulk, so it looks a little lighter, but it's really for the weight, to save members money on the postage, because postage is just going out the roof. So we're trying to cut costs there and give members a bit more for their money, so we can increase it by 16 pages and still keep under the weight for that.
Yeah, somebody did tell me that you were saving 50 odd p per postage. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
So that's, with your members doing the maths roughly, that's something like £100,000 a year that you're saving.
It helps the members, because it's the members' money that we have to look after for the club. So everything you need to look at with detail to save pennies for them.
Excellent. So it's the last day of the show today. I bet you're looking forward to getting home.
I will do when I get home. I live in Scotland, so I shall be driving up after I've helped the team take the stand down and drive about, I think it's 5 hours. So I'll be home for midnight.
Lorraine, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Still on the MG Car Club stand, I've just found probably what I think is one of the best MGCs I have ever seen. This thing is absolutely mint. It is for sale. There's no price though. We're now in the Autojumble section of the show, and those of you that have watched my models video will know that I'm a bit of a sucker for a model MGB. The only problem is that model MGBs aren't made anymore for the most part, so you've really got to hunt out for those that still exist, and this is a great place to do it. Of course, a lot of people buy their tools online, but it's really good at a show to be able to take a look at tools and feel them and make sure they're absolutely right for you. And do you know what? This show has got more tools in one place than I've ever seen. I'm really pleased. I've actually found a steering wheel. I was looking for a steering wheel for my MGB GT and I found one, and this is a Jackie Stewart one. It's been retrimmed by a really interesting company I found actually. They're called R2D Engineering and they have a lot of period original steering wheels. So if you're looking for a really nice steering wheel for your MGB, they could be the place. I'll put the link to their details in the description. But they also do manufacture panels for ZRs and ZTs. So company worth knowing about. Okay, so it's not another MGB, but I'm a real sucker for retro stuff. And one of these, I kind of lusted after one. I know it's weird and I know I shouldn't admit to it, but I really did lust after one of these things when they came out. And do you know what? I reckon you buy one now, it's probably quite a good investment. So that's it. 10,000 steps down, but every step absolutely worth it. I've had a really good day here today. Everybody's been so friendly. I've got a couple of books. I've got a new steering wheel for my MGB GT. So all I can say is if you want to come to a really good show, come here next year. So if you've enjoyed the video, it'd be great if you give it a like. If you'd subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications, that'd be great as well. As always, thanks for watching and take care.